This is DeerTech TV. Welcome to DeerTech TV. This week we're talking supplemental feeding, scent elimination, mobile mapping, and good old hunts with Dad.
Hi, I'm Cole Tanner. Today we're going to talk about the main differences between the Ozonics HR300 and the new Ozonics Orion X. There's really four things that we're going to walk through. First, we're going to talk about functionality of the units. Then we're going to look at the mounting systems. Then we're going to talk about the color. And then we're going to talk about the runtime and or battery life. So first, let's talk functionality. So both units are going to have the standard mode, boost mode, and dry wash mode. But the Orion X also has the hyper boost mode, which gives you 25% more ozone than boost mode. From there, we talk about the mounting systems. The HR300 comes with our original mounting system. The Orion X comes with the Smart Arm mounting system and the Smart Arm tree screw. The real advantage of that Smart Arm is it gives you 4 points of oscillation compared to 2 on the original mounting system. Again, I'm not trying to say one's, that this one's bad and this one's good. They're both great. No pun intended, but this one's just a little bit handier because you can have one hand on your Ozonics unit, and with just the turn of that one knob, you can completely adjust all the angle direction of that unit pretty easily, whereas this is just going to take a little bit more finagling. The other thing to mention when it comes to mounting systems is the HR300 comes with the blind bracket, which connects in a hub-style ground blind. The Orion X does not. If you're going to be connecting your Orion X in a hub-style ground blind, we would recommend that you make sure that you have that fan facing down into the blind, but then I would put it between the pole and the material of the blind, just kind of wedge it in there. And then make sure that, again, that it's over that window in the downwind direction. From there, another difference is going to be color. I mentioned that because, like I said, depending on how your screen looks, the top on the HR300 is a gray color, black on the bottom. The Orion X is black on top and black on bottom. Both units are going to have the rubber overmold on the top and on the sides. From there, we look at runtime and battery life. So the HR300 is going to come with a standard battery. You know it's that standard battery because it's not going to have the yellow XL sticker. On boost mode, you're going to get 4 hours of runtime. The Orion X comes standard with an XL battery. On boost mode, you're going to get 8 hours of runtime. So again, extra runtime means more ozone. The big thing I would say is if you're going to be running or doing an all-day set, you're probably running with 2 XL batteries. But even if we put another XL with each of these, the 4 from the standard and the 8 from the XL, you're at 12 hours of runtime, whereas 2 XLs here, you're at 16. Let's say you wanted to run your Ozonics Orion on Hyper Boost all day. That's on a full XL battery, you're going to get 6 hours on Hyper Boost. You're looking at 12 hours. So again, that Orion X just gives you more runtime, which is going to be just more ozone on that downwind side. Thanks for watching our video today on the main differences between the HR300 and the Orion X. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to jump on our website at ozonicsHunting.com or feel free to give us a call at 979-285-2401. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks again and good luck out there.
Don't go away. Up next, Brad Ruck shares how he found the perfect plot to hunt whitetails about 200 yards from his office. And later, Brad and his youngest son, Tinsay, share their annual father-son youth hunt together in Wisconsin.
Guys, I want to take a minute and talk about how technology has changed the way, especially I hunt. And what I'm looking at is like Onyx Maps. There's a bunch of different apps out there. Onyx probably makes the best mapping program out there. What I really like about it, one, it shows property boundaries. So if you zoom in and out, you can find all the different properties. Maybe you hunt on your own land and you think you would never use this, but I really do. And here's how I use it. One, on my home place, I'm looking for the neighbors' shooting lanes because I want to know where they're firearms hunting. And literally the aerial views that you get you can see them as plain as day. So now I can strategize my own property so that I don't really encroach them or I know what deer they're trying to hunt. I can actually manipulate my deer to go certain ways that are going to be more advantageous to us. The other thing that I like about the properties is sometimes you find these little hidden gems. We learned that our office, we lease our office, and the man that owns it owns half this field. So I was like, man, is that farmer paying you anything? And he's like, no. I was like, can we hunt on that field? And if I plant it into a food plot? And deep down, I came back from growing up on a farm. So I know a farmer's not going to bring his heavy equipment in to work on like 3/4 of an acre or smaller. So then once we got our side of the field, I just called up the farmer and found out, hey, could I lease that other? I'll give you $100 because normally our going rate here in Wisconsin is $100 an acre. Boom, we got the whole field. So now we got a probably 1.25 acre, 1.33 acre food plot, and we're going to suck all these deer off the public ground. So it's going to be absolutely perfect. The second thing I really like about Onyx, if I'm hunting out of state, it has different layers, and I know a lot of mapping programs do, but Onyx takes it to a whole new level. They're showing you where burns are if you're hunted out west, but me being a Midwest guy, I'm a whitetail freak. I'm looking for oak flats or what kind of properties on there. Onyx does it. It literally, you can put that into your maps and it'll show you what kind of woods is part of the woods. It actually has the 3D effect, so you can see if there's any structure on there. So it's going to cut down your time that you need for scouting. It's going to cut it down into half because you can find promising areas, go in there, hang your stand, and get out. The third thing that's brand new for them, since I really used it a lot, is they got a weather function. Now they're showing when the fronts are moving in. So you can actually see what's happening, not only just in your little hunting area, you zoom out, you can see what's going on in the rest of your state. It just is one of those programs that literally does it all. You can identify, you can put all your tree stands in where they are, you can share it with a friend. So if I put all my tree stands in, I can actually do a trail. It'll mark how I get in and how I get out. If I mark that, now I can share that with my best buddy that has never hunted my place. He's going to feel confident. He's got a map right where he is. He can see right where he is. He can actually see that he's following the trail of the stand.
Up next, it's all about supplemental whitetail nutrition and when they need it the most. And then we head to Wisconsin, where young Tensei makes his own decisions in the deer woods. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Brad Rux from DeerTech. Today we're taking a look at a product that is like striking gold. A lot of hunters feed whitetails corn. You know, one thing, it's really cheap. Two, it's easily accessible. And three, deer love it. But really, it doesn't do a lot for the deer. So if you're looking for an alternative, golden nuggets from Record Rack. This thing is amazing. So it's literally high in protein. It's got 13% protein. It's got fat in it. Fat's what gives the animal energy. They love the flavor. The other thing is it's in a small container. It's hardened, so the moisture really doesn't affect it much. So if you pour it on the ground, it'll probably last longer in corn, but you can also put it in a spin cast feeder. So therefore, you never have to worry about your spin cast feeders clogging up. As you guys know, whitetails can find any food source relatively quickly. This has a really unique aroma that's going to really disperse well into the wildlife, into the foliage. They're going to find this much quicker. So if you're a guy, if you're just trying to bait in a whitetail, you know, you can definitely use this because they're going to like it. They're going to come into it. If you want to feed them, or if you want to establish a new feeding location, this would be another perfect product because they're going to be able to smell that. Once they come to it, they'll fall in love with it, and then they're just going to continue to hit that spot and come back over and over again. So if you're wondering about timing, when's it important for a whitetail? You know, the crucial times of year, especially when they want protein, is antler development. You know, so that's in the spring, but it's actually effective in the late winters as well, in your February, March, because that's when the deer is trying to build up that body mass. And if you're just feeding them carbs, the regular straight corn, all they're really getting out of that is the energy. So yeah, you'll see them, they'll come to the feeder, they're getting the energy, but it's really not doing anything. And that's where the protein in a product like this really helps that antler development. It's going to build body mass for that whitetail, so when they do start growing, when the velvet starts growing, they're going to be in much better shape. So you're probably going to end up with a much larger rack. If you're trying to do your own deer survey, find out how many bucks are in your area, how many does are in your area, this is a perfect product. Team it up with a feeder. Browning has a great feeder, Browning trail camera. Dump both of them out. Keep that thing going for a month. All the whitetails are going to find it relatively quickly because the scent of this is going to get through the woods and they're going to come to that spot. And now you have the trail camera monitoring them. You literally have the timer. You can set up the trail camera and feeder any which way you want it. So if you want to pattern that whitetail, get them only coming in a little bit later after morning, you're setting up your feeder to go off once it's daylight, or give yourself another half an hour to slip in. Everything's patterned. They got that internal clock, tells them what time it is. They're going to check the feeders off. Again, it's a great way to pattern any kind of animal that you have on your little land behind your house. You know, it's great for wildlife viewing. Check it out, Golden Deer Nuggets from Record Rack. You won't be disappointed. Opening day of the Missouri rifle season. It's probably 7:45. Some shooting around me. The bucks were in here when it was dark. 2 bucks were chasing a doe. I couldn't tell anything. I couldn't even see them. But since it's gotten light, I've only seen 1 deer. But the deer went up this way. You'd think tonight they'll come back, but it's early and just a little bit of shooting. So hopefully things will turn around for me. Time will tell. So Missouri rifle season, I've never been to it. I'm headed down to Missouri, get there, peak of the rut. You know, I got high hopes. Unfortunately, the deer didn't cooperate. And I'm self-filming on this trip, which makes it really difficult. Sometimes I thought I'd have a big deer out in the field, have plenty of time. Well, during the rut, it just didn't work out that. I saw one really good shooter. He's in the brush. You know, he just never comes out and gives me a shot where I could actually get the camera on him and get the gun up. So I'm either running the camera or I have the gun up and I position the camera in a spot where I think he's going and he doesn't cooperate. So I'm a little bit frustrated, but the best thing is I'm headed home. It's Wisconsin opener and I always hunt with the kids.
After an unsuccessful hunt in Missouri, Brad is happy to head home and hit the deer woods with his youngest son, Tinsay. With a few target bucks in mind, it's sure to be a slam dunk hunt. Unless Tinsay has other plans, that is.
Today it looks like the best day, so we'll see if I would think they'll move tonight really well. There's a little bit of shooting this morning, not a ton, to be honest. Probably half dozen shots, you know. Nothing like a Wisconsin opening weekend is all I have to say. He's in the brush, you know, he just never comes out and gives me a shot where I could actually get the camera on him and get the gun up. So I'm either running the camera or I have the gun up and I position the camera in a spot where I think he's going and he doesn't cooperate. So I'm a little bit frustrated, but the best thing is I'm headed home. It's Wisconsin opener and I always hunt with the kids. So we get up to Wisconsin, the open day hits, and we have tons of bucks. We're seeing them. And at one time we had 5 bucks in front of us, and one of them is a management type deer. It's a 6-pointer. You know, he's definitely 2. I think he was 3, but he's just a junk horn deer. I wanted him shot. I mean, we had targeted that deer early in the season. I'm trying to convince Tim to shoot it. No go. I mean, the kid's got a horseshoe, you know, that he takes with him basically because he always shoots a big deer. But this year it wasn't going to happen. Now the season's progressing. It's a little later in the season. And my rule is it's time to do some whitetail management. It's always nice to harvest a deer, especially when you're a kid. I mean, you just want to shoot something. So does are up for the target base, and we go out there, and it really didn't take long.
It's day 8 of Wisconsin gun season, and we've seen a lot of good mature does down here, and we're gonna do some doe management. I want to shoot a mature one tonight to end the season in a good note.
Good job.
Shot around the pond bank, ran about 20 yards, and curled in a little to the left, and then stopped, and then right there she dropped.
You know, not every season turns out the way you want. You don't get to get a buck of your dreams or even a buck in general. But we harvest a doe, we got the freezer filled, and it's always fun for the kids.
That wraps another successful hunt and another episode of DeerTech TV. See you next week.